So I'm sure you've noticed recently as a lot of more buzz comes up for the MLB draft, and I'm sure you're seeing you're being ranked high, maybe even potentially first rounder in some prospect lists. Is that any of your focus right now? Because you still only played 16 college baseball games and you still haven't played any SEC competition. So is your focus more just on trying to see the competition in college right now or prepare for what's next for you?
No, man, honestly, my focus is actually not on that at all. I finally got to the point. I struggled a little bit in the fall. I'd be honest if I said I didn't, but I just want to win. At the end of the day, sure, you can be a first rounder, you can be a second rounder, you can do whatever you want. But if we win, man, that's what's going to matter. These are my brothers. These are my teammates. And I'd go to war with them. And at the end of the day, man, I want to go to Omaha. I want to win a Super. I want to win the SEC tournament. Just want to win. And whatever happens with me personally, that happens. But if I go out there every game, just try my best to just win that game, just do whatever it takes, I think it'll all handle itself out.
Dick Gabriel.
Yeah, John, you guys as a team were really rolling last year when things were stopped short, and you had gotten off to such a great start. You were rolling yourself. Can you describe what it was like emotionally for you and your teammates to suddenly have that taken away from you?
Man, that was about the worst thing I could possibly imagine. That was the most fun I've ever had playing baseball right there. And then just one day, it's just boom, it's cut off. And it's hard there's a lot of anger. I'd be lying to you if I said we all didn't really struggle with it, talk about it all the time. And when we had to go our separate ways, I driving home, I still remember the feeling. I live 4.5 hours from here, and I was just I was so mad. I've never been that mad in my life. And I was why this? But it's for a global pandemic, and you've seen how many people have died from it. And so it's one of those things, man, it's beyond baseball. So when I came to that realization and realized hey, there's nothing I can do about it from here. There's nothing we can do about it. Just let's continue to get better. Let's see what we can do. Let's make the most of it. And so that's a time that we all spent away from each other, but we all spent getting better so we could succeed this season.
John Wong.
Hey, John, I heard Coach Mingione bragging on you the other day. He should be your publicist, but here's what he said. He said, this guy is a leader. He has a burning desire to be great. He's helped bring a lot of guys with him from his work ethic, from his coachability. He's wired different. You don't get to coach a lot of guys like this. What do you think when you hear something like that from your coach, and how are you wired differently?
Oh, man, Coach Mingione's the best. There's not much better. He just sees a lot in guys. He sees some differences in guys, and he took a chance on me, even going back to when I committed here. Basically, I was after my freshman year of high school, and my back was broken. And I remember having a phone call with him, and I got off the phone. I told my parents, hey, I'm going to Kentucky. Never been here before, never done anything, hadn't even got an offer. And I was that's where I'm going. And so from there, we've always had a really, really good relationship. I think we always saw the good in each other. And so that's built, and it's an awesome spot it is right now. But I think when he talks about I'm wired different, I think it's just kind of goes back to my work ethic. I think I'm up here hitting a lot. It's just what I love to do. Nothing crazy. I mean, he has his evaluation of me, and it is what it is. But I just love to hit, man. It sounds as simple as that. It's kind of dumb, but it's just I love to do it.
John Roberts.
Hey, John. With this offseason being what it was, and possibly not having a whole lot of team activities and stuff like that, talk about what you did during the offseason to prepare, especially when you couldn't be around everybody else.
Yeah, so like Coach Minge said earlier, we all kind of came up with daily routines and tried to stick to them as much as possible. And so for me, I have two really close buddies back home. One plays in North Carolina and one plays at MTSU. And we honestly just hung out together every day. We'd wake up in the morning, go work out about 11, then we'd hit at about 2, then we'd hang out, and then we'd hit later that night. So we basically hit twice a day, worked out once, worked out 5 times a week, hit 7 days a week. And it's just a time that we all saw as a time just to get better. And we're like, this is what it is. A lot of people don't have access to certain resources right now and certain facilities, and we do. So let's make the most of it and let's go and let's push ourselves to be as good as we can be.
Jeff Drummond.
Yeah, John, Coach spent a lot of time talking about defense and trying to change, the culture in the program there. That's the big area for you guys to improve this season. What have you done kind of personally, and what areas are you trying to pick up and improve on this season?
Yeah, so defense was the thing last year that I struggled with a lot. I was kind of a mental midget. And so this is it. It took a lot out of me. It took a lot of pride out of myself to struggle that much. So for me, I've taken a lot of outfield reps. I'll be probably starting out in right field and just trying to get as many live reps in BP. We come at night, hit on the field, and I just go out there while they're hitting, just try to get as many live reads as possible. Like it's not an easy spot, but it's something I feel like if I can master, it's going to help me in the batter's box. It's going to help me wherever, just mentally, confidence, and defense isn't necessarily my strength, I would say, but it's something I got to work on every day, and it's something that as a team we're working on every single day. And I like where we're at. This is the best I've seen us defensively, even pregame stuff and just individual NDD times. We look really good right now.
If I could follow up on that real quick, with the COVID situation, defense is such a team-oriented deal. What sort of things did you do, just that you could do on your own or with somebody else, pulling out there to work with individually?
Yeah, and like I said, there's not too much outfield-wise. You can take fungo or take whatever, but really I would just, when my friends would hit BP, we'd hit on the field. We'd usually hit on the field at like 2 that time. But usually when my friends would hit BP, I'd go out there to like left field, right field, shag, center. Because that's the best reps you can get are those live reps. There's nothing, no crazy drill that you can do. Like infield, when I was training for infield last off season, I could just go take fungo from any of my dad's friends or any of my friends' parents and stuff like that. But for outfield, man, it's like I said, it's all about those live reps, just getting the first step off the ball and just going, fully committing. So just getting more comfortable there, and it's really just a comfort thing out there.
Did they see outfield as kind of your long-term projection?
I believe so. I think the utility, or kind of a utility spot, is if you look at kind of the way the game's going right now, you can play wherever. It gives you the best opportunity because, there's only, however many corner outfielders, how many outfielders, but you can fill a role wherever. And so that's kind of my goal right there, is to get back to just kind of going wherever the team needs me. And like last fall, I played pretty much like 7 positions, and I enjoyed it. I really did. And it's nice, like going out there and not completely knowing where you're going to play, but wherever, me personally, like I said, I like to do whatever helps the team win. And if I can get back to that point where I can play some infield this year or in the future, wherever, like that'd be awesome if it's going to help the team win.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go Eric, and then we'll wrap up with Dick and get Jimmy in here.
Yeah, hey, John. So obviously it's going to be difficult to repeat batting .426 and leading the league in doubles to start the year. So how do you think you're mentally going to prepare if and when a slump does come for you at the plate?
Yeah, this is something I've struggled with a lot. I worked on it this summer. So for me, really, even last year, like I got in a role and I just kind of didn't really think about it, and I never really had a negative part of the season, I feel like. And so this summer, I actually went through a little bit, and the biggest thing for me was actually Troy Squires, former player here. I talked to him a lot, and if you've ever talked to Troy, he's the most calm person ever. He's just like super monotone, just everything. And so I always hear that Troy voice in my head. He's just like, hey, it's okay, calm down, like it's fine. So whether I'm 0 for 2 or 2 for 2, it's like, all right, like it's fine. It's just keep going. It doesn't really matter. And I actually heard something about Austin Cousineau the other day, and Coach D, our strength coach, actually told me this. He said Cousineau, he'd go 0 for 4 on a Friday. Man, you'd be like, oh, Cusi, like, what are you going to do, man? And he's like, it means I can still go 4 for 8 on Saturday and Sunday. And so I think that's a mindset that I can carry over, just learning from past guys like that and learning from guys like Colin Calgill and Evan White. I talk to Evan White pretty frequently, and he gave me this book to read and all this stuff. And it's just having those guys to lean on, even when times come, or can be even another resource for me to go forward. But like I said, it's really, man, it's just staying level-headed, being committed to my routines and being committed to the process, not getting caught up in the numbers. Just going out there trying to win, and if having it for 4 days, it's fine. Just continue to go back the next day and try to win, and it'll work itself out in the long run.
Sweet. Thanks.
All right, we'll wrap up with Dick Gabriel.
Yeah, John, last year you guys lost 3 really good players in a span of it seemed like a few hours. And suddenly there's a lot of moving parts with the lineup, and the coaches had to make decisions, and you were part of that being moved around. Could that be any kind of help this year? You talked about versatility on defense, but, you know, is it more valuable to have a set lineup, you know, knowing when you come to the ballpark where you're going to be that day?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would just say I think we have a lot of guys in a lot of places that can contribute to the team, and we have a lot of depth of positions. You can form the lineup a bunch of ways. Like I said, I think this year wherever I fall is where I fall, and, you know, I'll go wherever they need me to go. But I think we have a ton of guys that can play wherever and that are actually really good bats and really good ball players. And so I'm just looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see what we can piece together and just get a lineup that, you know, whether it's changing every day or it's stuck, just something that's going to produce and going to bring us wins back here.
All right, guys, we'll get Jimmy on here in just a second for you.
Thank you.